Hello, welcome to the Open Heart series where we're reflecting through a heart issue, and we're trying to be good at examining our hearts and making sure that our hearts are right and pure before God and before others. And we're dealing with a challenging, controversial issue, and we want to be Christ-like in the way we interact with that issue and with others. And this is a series that builds in a reflective way, and one video builds upon the other. So if you've not watched the first 7 videos, I encourage you to please watch those first 7 videos in order, because if you get into the material here in video 8, it really it wouldn't work right, because you have not reflected through the issues in a thorough manner. So I encourage you to please watch those first 7 videos before watching this video. Now, if you're watching this video and you have watched those first 7 videos, again, we're reflecting through a major heart issue, and that's regarding race issues and issues of racism, prejudice, and bias, and those sort of things. And where we've been so far is we've talked about resistance and avoidance. Why do I resist certain ideas? Not whether or not they're wrong, but really, why do I resist them? Why do I avoid certain subject matters? Why do I avoid the possibility of different things? So when people raise the idea that I might be racist or prejudiced, or when they raise the idea there might be systemic racism, when they raise those kind of questions, why do I resist it? Why do I avoid it? Is it truly because I have legitimate causes, or are there other things going on? We talked about diminished. We've talked about making the problem be less severe. We might acknowledge that it exists, but we try to tamp it down as to being a pretty insignificant issue. Again, not debating where it sits, but why do we do that? That's the big thing. Why do we tend to make it less of an issue? Is it because it truly is, or is there some other reason at heart? And that's what we're looking for. It's not to win an argument here yet. We're looking to really see what's happening in my heart when I interact with this issue. We've talked about resources, and how, if you're actually examining the resources that you're looking at regarding this issue. And so we want to make sure that we know we are honestly evaluating resources. Why do I choose certain resources? Why do I believe and agree with certain resources? So we want to make sure we're thinking through that. We want to make sure we're going deep into the issue. We're not just staying at a surface level. We're asking a bunch of questions. We're asking a lot of whys so that we can truly understand a very complex issue. We talked about aim. What is it that is your goal? Why is it that you're trying to reject certain ideas? Why is it you're confronting about certain issues? What is it that you're trying to see happen? And making sure that you're understanding what's going on in your heart as you interact with this issue. Then we talked about heartless. You might disagree with something, but do you actually care that some harm fell upon somebody? And so we want to make sure what's going on in my heart. So today, we want to talk about making progress and in our understanding of this issue. And some of that is affected by the other 7 videos on making sure that I'm actually monitoring my heart, and I'm asking myself, why am I having these opinions? Why am I thinking this way? And if I'm coming at it with a more open heart and more open mind, then I will likely make progress in this issue, no matter what side of the coin I sit as far as my opinion is concerned. And so what I want us to do is, in order to make progress, we need to ask ourselves, who are we arguing with? So if I start to say well, I disagree with that, or I disagree with that, that's one thing. But what I've noticed happens sometimes in conversations with people is I'll point out, I'll raise an objection in this issue, and someone will argue with some objection I didn't bring up. And I'll say, okay, but what about this point? And then they'll argue with some other issue that I didn't raise. And I think that's what tends to happen, is we're not actually arguing, we're not actually like exchanging ideas. We have a template, we have a viewpoint on this issue, and then when someone brings up the opposite side, we just give all the cliche answers that we've had, and we're not actually interacting with that person. We're interacting with the concept and the way we've developed in our minds to this point. And we won't ever make, if there's progress to be made, we won't ever make progress if we just keep staying with the template. That doesn't mean the template means that needs to change. It doesn't mean that our opinions are wrong. But we will never know for sure if we don't allow ourselves to explore it every time someone brings something up and we're paying attention to what they're saying. Not arguing with what the people in the news are saying, about what the politicians are saying or other authors are saying. We are debating with this specific person and their specific ideas. We have to make sure we're paying attention, because I just see people go on a tangent in conversation, on social media, and they're never actually interacting with what the person is saying. And I partly wonder why that is. Is it because we're really not thinking through this issue thoroughly? Or is it because we actually heard a valid point and we don't know how to answer that? Why is it that I'm not actually interacting with that person? Or sometimes we will argue about the weakest side of the argument. So we oppose that other side of the coin, their viewpoint, and instead of arguing with the strongest points, we argue with the weakest points. And I see people do that all the time, and that drives me nuts. I see people do that on both sides, and that drives me crazy. If your opinion is correct, it will withstand the strongest arguments that are opposed to it. And if I'm not afraid that if it's flimsy, then I'm going to allow for that exploration. It's in the shutting down the conversation that we display that likely in our hearts we are aware that our opinion is flimsy. It doesn't have sure footing, it's not on a solid foundation, and maybe we should be questioning it. So make sure that you're not just arguing with people over the weakest points. Or maybe there's someone on the other side of the coin that expresses very bad and dangerous views, and so now I have someone in front of me that's expressing that they're on the other side of my opinion about this issue, and then I start arguing with them about I don't agree with this stuff over here. Well, those are the extreme views. Well, you talk to this person, and we're not going to make any progress if we're not actually interacting with everything that is taking place. I want to raise the question again that we discussed in the last video of always asking myself, what is it I'm trying to prevent? So when I'm arguing about this issue, what do I want the person that I'm arguing with to do? Is there something I want them to say, not say? Something I want them to believe, not believe? Something I want them to do or not do? And why? Why is it I want them to do that? Would it be good if that were to be the outcome? What am I hoping the outcome would be? Because I think sometimes we just get in arguments and we're trying to win a debate rather than actually honestly trying to figure out what's taking place and figuring out where are we trying to head. And in my mind, we should get to a place where everybody is respecting human life, and no matter what race you are, you get treated the same, whether you're white or black. You get the same fair opportunities, and then you get judged based on behavior and character and work ethic and those sort of things. And race is no part of the equation as far as when you evaluate a person and how you treat a person. That should be the goal. But I think sometimes we don't know what our goal is in this debate. So we need to make sure that we are aware of what our goal is, because sometimes I think we're pushing for outcomes that we don't want. What if I win my debate and people live according to my debate? Will it be a good outcome? So let's, again, let's try to make sure that we are not just trying to maintain the same viewpoint and the same ideas, but we're trying to actually listen to one another and not just win a debate, but come to the answers that are there. So be open-minded and listen, and be willing to change your views. You don't have to, but be willing to change your views. And I think that's where we're going to look for progress. I think we're going to make progress if we actually start listening and be humble and willing to say that I might be wrong, rather than just constantly trying to win the argument. You'll never get anywhere. We'll never make progress if we're just trying to win the argument. And again, what's your goal there? Why are you just trying to win the argument? So let's really think about progress and how to make progress with this. How do I have conversations that result in progress? And I think we'll get to a better place. So again, if this series, I encourage you, please comment on these videos. It will help me know where we are. If nothing else, then email me at dlevesque, DLEVECK, at bethelpgh.org, or you can Facebook message me. Please like the video. Again, we're being careful on how we share the video because I don't really want people that aren't in this place where they're open to discuss. But if you know people that you think might be open, please share this video with them. And let's try to make progress when it comes to this race issue. So again, please like it, share it. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube and hit the notification button. Please follow the Facebook page and we'll appreciate your support and us continue to explore how do we become better regarding this race issue.